Hello everyone, it's me, Michael. I'm back to review another episode of What If. School started back up for me and I've been back on the daily grind for my classes and it's been a bit more tough to get to videos. Anyway, I remembered that there was a new What If episode today, so I watched it. And this one was What If TChalla was a StarLord, and it says a StarLord. I think they got the title wrong. It should be just StarLord. Anyway, I actually have a few problems with this before we begin. My respects go out to Chadwick Boseman. He managed to actually record the lines for this episode, and it was good to hear his voice again. I just don't feel that this episode is really worthy send-off. I don't know if anything could actually be. But anyway, let's get into this. Okay, spoilers on the episode, but we start out on Morag, where a certain individual, known as StarLord, is trying to get the Power Stone in the special orb. Anyway, they kind of do a very clever joke. He says, apparently Ronan's forces come in, and he says, "You may know me by another name," and then he takes off his helmet, and the guy's like, "Oh my gosh, it's Star-Lord," and apparently that's the introduction to the fact that Star-Lord is the guy. He helps everybody. He's not the kind of guy to run away from a fight, but he can get his hands dirty. He feels more pure and already on the hero's path than Chris Pratt's Star-Lord does. So he brings a new energy to the table, but like it's so funny. It's just like, instead of the who, he goes like, "Oh my gosh, it's Star-Lord," and then he starts kind of praising him and whatnot, and then they do the bowing joke from Infinity War, where like Bruce Banner's like, "Should I bow?" And it's like, "No, we don't do that here." Anyway, I thought that was funny. Then we go to like a special bar where all the Ravagers meet up. We get to see Nebula. She's not ripped to pieces and rebuilt as a machine, but instead she has gorgeous blonde hair. The only thing missing is her eye, which she has replaced with a cybernetic eye. And we see Drax there as the bartender, and he gets a picture with TChalla. Okay, so everything looks good so far. But then we get to where this episode drops. And it drops badly. Very badly. I thought the first episode was an okay start. It was decent. Peggy Carter looked a little bit too mannish when she had the suit on. And her shoulders were a little bit too broad. But other than that, the episode was really good. This one, though, next we bring in a reformed version of Thanos, of all people, who has joined the Ravagers. And that could have been such an amazing idea. I love that concept. But they mess it up with a little bit of dialogue. Thanos does go on his conquest to erase half of all life from existence. But T'Challa stops him. How does he stop him? With an argument about what he could be doing instead. And that's where I was like, ugh. Basically, that just undermines over 10 years of development for this character, waiting in the shadows, being this unknown enemy, slowly moving the pieces into place, and he only came into play when he really needed to. And then you're saying that instead of the whole giant fight, we make all the characters look silly now. We make Tony Stark's death completely worthless, as well as Black Widow's. And you're telling me that he could have, somebody could have come up to him, told him, hey, double the resource, you would have been like, that's very interesting. I'm going to give up on 10 years of hard work. He's a mad titan. He's irrational. He took these into consideration and decided that this was still the best course of action, erasing half of all life from the universe. And Doctor Strange said there was only one reality where they win. And so even if this was a more sane version of Thanos, he still would have gone nuts and would have been impossible to reason with. Like, he still would have won, like, or something. And you're telling me that Doctor Strange just conveniently left out this different version of events? Even if this reality wasn't created yet, the events, he still could have seen the events play out this way. Ugh. Anyway, let's get on to the rest of the episode because right now it's already ruined. Anyway, they go to nowhere, the big celestial head, to trade the orb to the collector for some money, but they discover he's really, really, really bad. Also, TChalla learns that, spoilers, Wakanda was destroyed, but it actually wasn't, and he was lied to by Yondu. Which comes to another big problem. Going back to the beginning, Yondu explains that he took TChalla instead of Peter Quill because they got they got their whole job mixed up. Even if they did get it mixed up, why didn't they go back for Peter Quill and complete the job? They're just like, oh, we got this kid, oh well, guess we're not getting paid. Come on. They can't be this stupid. Anyway, they discover, well, the collector's really bad, and they come up with this overly complicated plan, which they get captured, but then they manage to escape, and it's all part of the plan, apparently. And, T'Challa is angry at Yondu for lying to him, but they eventually fix things at the end. T'Challa beats the collector along with Yondu. They escape with the orb, I think, still. They go back to Wakanda and have a happy ending, the end. Blah, blah, blah. That's the end of the episode. Whatever, is really simple. And here's where the episode picks up again a little bit. We see that Peter Quill is grown up and he is working at a Dairy Queen. He's mopping the floors, listening to music. And then his dad comes in, Ego himself, and, he explains that he's his dad, and then you see his eyes glow, and that's the end of the episode. I think that is a neat way to tie things up. Dang, I was really looking forward to this episode, and this is why I normally don't trust Marvel to do very much of anything anymore. As well as Disney, pretty much because they can't think of implications or how they deal with implications, or even what their very basic dialogue could be. Really, it's just put the dialogue and the characters out there. We'll just see what happens. And not only is Marvel woke now, but like I said, they just can't deal with the implications of what they're saying and doing. And this was such a mess up. They just completely dumped the coffee stain on two of the biggest box office hits out there. I give this episode a reluctant 4 out of 10. Oh, dang, I really wanted to like it. Once the Thanos thing came in, it was over for me. I was just like, I'll watch it. Maybe there's other good stuff. But I think it's just ruined. They just dropped the ball right there. The Yondu thing where he picked up T'Challa instead of Peter Quill, dumb, doesn't make sense. Anyway, that's all I got. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Remember to keep things perfectly balanced, as all things should be.